Welcome to Crappens. Don't wait a week for a new video. Join our Patreon at the Crappens On Demand level for instant recap access. Link in description. Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to Watch Our Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker. Joining me, as usual, is the wonderful and hilarious Mr. Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How's it going?
Well, hello. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. This is your welcome to Crappens On Demand. So, guess what? We had a technical issue, which meant that Crappens On Demand did not start until about 40 minutes in. But then there's still another, it's us. So there's still like another hour left. So we apologize that the first 40 minutes didn't make it onto video. But, we still have the rest of the episode. But the rest of it, we have the audio. So it's all good. So go listen to the first 40 minutes of the podcast. And then if you want, come back and watch it or just start from here. But sorry about that. And let's not delay it. Let's get right into that video, shall we? Let's do it. So Angie's like, she's like, may I say something? And Monica's like, well, girl, you might have a better memory since you didn't hit your head. So go ahead, girl. So Angie's like, okay, Monica, I do have a really good memory of the day because I had family that left because they felt it wasn't a safe environment. And she's, oh, and she goes, hey, it's my turn. You go online, okay? You threaten to sue me, and then you say I should send you the bill for the head scan, which you did not pay for. Production paid the bill, so now you're telling the entire internet that I broke your head.
You started it with your nasty tweet. So Monica cannot let her get it out, but in her defense, this is all insane. But on both sides are both nuts right now, making stuff up. So Monica's like, you started it with your nasty tweet, and then Lisa's like, what was nasty about her tweet? So we don't see the tweets again, but I repeated them because Monica started it with, say what you want about me, that I'm a whore, a rat, or an assistant. But my girls were not there. And then Angie tweets, production did you a favor. We don't need to see the stills to know you did this in front of your kids. Don't forget, you almost hit my 2-year-old niece in the head with your shoe. And shut the fuck up with your lies about Sean.
Monica's like,
well, to be fair, I had a conversation with Meredith, and I told her the situation, and she said, you want her house? You can take her house.
and Meredith's like, oh, no. I did not say you can take anyone's house ever.
We gotta take your house, which you know that Meredith fucking said it. Like, I think everybody knows that this is true. And Heather goes, Meredith, did you say that? And then she goes, yes, she did. She said, let's get you this house. And Meredith goes, did I say that there's potential liability there? Of course, there was potential liability. Did I tell her to steal the house? I did not. I would never do such a thing.
Well, it's apparent you make a living off of suing people. And Monica goes,
bitch, I have never sued one person in my life.
And she's like, there are multiple lawsuits under several of your names. And she goes, who I sued? So they're fighting now about who Angie has sued. And they're just talking over each other and squealing over each other. And then Heather goes, well, you're suing me. And Andy goes, wait a minute, are you suing Heather? It's like, no, I am responding to her suing me. And Heather goes, well, it's a countersuit, but you are suing me. And she goes, but I wouldn't have sued you. I'm just responding to you suing me. And Heather's like, yeah, but mine is a collection suit from a bill you didn't pay. And that is true. And I'm surprised they didn't go into this, I guess, because it's a pending lawsuit, but Monica went and got a bunch of work done at Beauty Lab under a different name and then never paid the bill. It was like a $2,500 bill. She paid the $499 deposit and then never paid the rest. There's a Sun article about Monica DMing with the person, the physician's assistant or whatever, who did the work on her, saying, oh my God, I love this work. This is great work. Can't wait to see you again. Oh, I'm so sad you had to cancel for the next appointment. Blah, blah, blah. But now Monica is countersuing Heather, saying that she was unhappy and they botched her work and all of this stuff. So that's what this is all about. So, So Heather's like, that's a collection suit. And Angie goes, well, why sue back? Why not just pay your bill? And she goes, God damn, no. And I love that Monica just left it at, no, I'm not going to pay my bill. And didn't go into a whole, you botched my face. She was just like, no, I'm not going to pay my bill.
Yeah, but I liked Angie being like, why are you suing? Just pay your bill. Yeah, but of course, Monica's definitely not paying that bill. 100% not. So, hey, Snuggles from The Bear says, Lisa, you told Monica no one wants to be your mom. Do you regret saying that? So I thought Lisa was just going to do a simple, like, well, yeah, after saying that, I see she has a lot of damage. But Lisa's like, no, well, I think that conversation got misconveyed. And Monica's like, misconveyed? And she goes, yeah, because I rebutted as sophomore as you dished it. Yeah, I'm just going to make up words left and right here. So, like, you were the nasty one all season, not me. She goes,
Girl, I was not the nasty one, you stupid fucking bitch whore skank. Like, I was responding to the energy that I was given, girl.
Oh, yeah? Fix your face, fix your eyes, look at your ugly face. That's things you said. And she's like, why are you addressing Angie? She called Meredith a trampoline with eyes. And then Angie's like, yeah, but that means that her face is smooth and tight. I was being nice with that one.
and Lisa's like, I want to be a trampoline with eyes. They're just like all gaslighting this.
There's like, yeah, I'm like, I pay a lot of money to like try and look like a trampoline with eyes. That's a total compliment.
They're like, now they're just like really on board to being like, sure, let's just sell this trampoline with eyes thing. Why not?
It was a compliment this whole time.
It was a compliment in the middle of a vicious fight. That's all.
So then Monica, who just got on Lisa for not being able to pronounce words, by the way, she was correct. Now Monica goes, oh yeah? Well, touchette, bitch. Touchette.
I was wondering what she was saying.
She goes, what does touchette mean?
Yeah, I was like, touchette. Oh my God. The Bravo celebrities are having a hard time this season with phrases between her and Olivia. So then Lisa's like, you're nasty to women. You are. So are you, girl. No, I'm not. Okay? I made a comment, and you can cling onto whatever comment you want. And she was like,
Weren't you nasty to Meredith?
she's like, it's none of your business if I was nasty to Meredith, because we fixed our stuff, okay? And you started with a piece of shit, and you started calling me the 1%, whatever. And then they start like talking over it. They just start yelling over each other about like, who dished it? You can't dish it. You can dish it, but you can't take it.
Andy just literally crumples in his chair. He's like, oh, God, please, I can't do this anymore, please. And then Lisa goes, this is why your mom talks to a tree. You don't listen. She goes, oh, my God, throw my mom in my face. She goes, oh, yeah, you're so manipulative. And she goes, what do you mean I'm manipulative? You just said it. So they're screaming, and so Lisa's like, I'm going to get very direct with you. So then Monica's, squeaking about, oh my gosh, you said nobody wants to be my mother. She goes, yeah, but it's because you said that I'm not your mom. Oh my God. And then Monica goes, see, this is the thing. They just go so low. It's like, how can you pick a side? Because then Monica goes, how could you even say that when your husband's adopted? You're disgusting. Oh, my God. Right. And then Whitney covers her nose. And she's like, oh, my God, this is hurting my ears. Why can I still hear it? She's like, you're covering your nose, Whitney. Oh, okay. Thank you. You're welcome. What?
Hey, you know what? John wasn't even offended by the adoption comment because I told him he shouldn't be offended. And he said, okay. So then Monica's like,
well, I don't even know what your problem is with me. Like, dead ass. I don't know what your problem is with me.
Which Monica, okay, come on now. So Heather's like, well, give it a minute and then we'll let you know.
And Monica's like, dead ass. And so Andy goes, okay, well, she'll tell you in a little while. Okay, so my blood is from Saccharin. Says, Lisa, what did you mean when you said that we were dealt the same deck of cards when you were talking about Monica? Which is, oh my God. So Lisa goes, okay, look, I look at things in the most positive way possible. And Monica just LOLs. And she's like, I do. Listen, like, I didn't know a thing about your relationship with your mom. And I asked you at the sound bath, I was like, why do you hate your mother? And why do you want us to hate your mother? And I asked you like 4 times and you didn't have an answer. You just said, you'll see. And Andy goes, well, we did see. We did see.
Well, the bottom line is you wouldn't stop. You said I'm mediocre. You went after my family. You said nasty things about my husband, who you don't even know. You said you don't like Diet Coke. You don't even like Wendy's. Like, what's up with that? And Monica's like, what did I say even about John? And they all are like, and she's like, you called him a penis head. I don't even remember that. I vaguely remember it, but it's like a season.
We're waiting for this big bomb to drop, and Andy goes, you called him a penis head. So funny. And Andy just stares at the camera like B. Arthur in Golden Girls. He's like, This
And
is what
Monica
I'm
goes-
feeling. This is what it's come to. And Heather goes, why? Why would you call John a penis head?
Angie goes,
Why?
and then 5 minutes later, you wanted to fuck him.
Holy Sally. Okay. Sally from Field TV Movie of the Week says, why does Monica have so many identities on Google? So your maiden name was Fowler, is that correct? And she goes, no, my maiden name was Darnell. Grrr. My married name is Grrr Fowler. Grrr. And he goes, okay, well, what is Delgado? Well, that's my dad's side. Okay, what's Garcia? Well, that's my mother's side, because my mother was born Linda Darnell Susan Maria Garcia. Okay? And when she was growing up, she was teased for being a Portuguese. And so she was called racist things all the time. So when she became legal, she was ashamed and became Linda Darnell. So when I was born, I was Linda Darnell. I was Monica Linda Darnell. And that name means nothing to me. So when I was getting a divorce, I changed it 20 times. Oh, okay. Okay,
Now-
it makes total sense.
Now, I know some people don't want to think of Linda as like a gay icon, but nothing is campier than the fact that Monica's mom's name is Linda Darnell Susan Maria Garcia. Like, that is like, I was like, it's perfect. It's perfect. Don't change a thing.
So Andy brings up when her mom was like, oh, come on, Monica Darnell. And Monica getting super pissed because she just outed her real name or whatever on TV. And Monica's like, why would you call me that? And she goes, oh, well, I'm sorry, Monica. I just don't know what your fucking name is. You change it every other week.
So Andy's like, okay, so you've used 4 names. She goes, no, I've used 3 names. She goes, well, the one I was born with, the one when I got married, and when I got divorced. I was like, oh, actually, I guess that is a fair amount of, like, that's not actually out of
Okay,
too
but why did you
wild.
use 3 different ones just at Beauty Lab alone? I mean, come on.
Well, then there's
some-
that too.
Come on.
Then
There is
there's that.
something like, there's probably like a tiny bit of truth in that, but she does have tons of lawsuits and they're all under different names. And I'm sorry, that's just fishy. It's just, bringing up like my mom was traumatized. It all comes back to like some kind of past trauma. There's too many names. I'm sorry. There's too many name changes to just be normal. It's fishy. So to me. So then she's like, and then she says, but the fact, like, people here were making fun of the fact that I was using Delgado Adriano Garcia or whatever. What did she say Adriano? Because I rewound it like 3 times. I was like, is that another name? Or do you think she was trying to say Darnell and it was just,
I
sounded
think it was
like
maybe
Adriano.
that because I only wrote down Delgado Garcia, but there probably was a lot. I mean, who knows? Monica's just always going to pull out another name. And so she said that she had confided into
She's like, how dare you? I use 3 names. So when people accuse, and one of them was Nikki also, which she
Yeah.
didn't say here, but one of them is Monica Nikki something. But she's like, how dare you? I've only used 3 names. Jennifer, Patricia, Penelope, and Ruth. Wait a minute.
mean,
those are
everyone knows-
that's 4 names, and those are different than all the ones you just listed.
I'm Monica Delgado Garcia, Silverstone, Corvette, McDonald's, Francisco.
This is Brown. She's like, Time Warner,
Rice-A-Roni.
Time Warner, Peacock, NBC, Universal. Wait a minute. So,
Wait a second. Are
you're
you all the
fired.
streamers?
And then all these writers were saying I was taking advantage of them.
It's like,
Oh,
well,
gosh.
so then Lisa's like,
Wait,
so-
hold on. So we missed the main point of this, making stupid jokes. So she is saying that they were accusing her of basically changing her name to look more Latina just to get on the show. And Lisa goes, who said that? And she's like, you did, Lisa. And she goes, I did not say that. Do not look at me and say that when I did not say that, because you're saying that I said something that I did not say. I did not
Yeah.
say that.
So this is actually an important point for a little bit later. Lisa goes, you know who said that? Jen. And Monica's like, no, she didn't. And she's like, yes, she did. And Monica goes,
So, you're just like repeating what Jen says now? Like, that's what you do? You just repeat what Jen says?
which is important because later on, Monica's like, oh, it wasn't me. I was just like, the whole voicemail thing later is like, I wasn't saying that about Mary. I was just repeating what Jen said.
Well, it's also annoying because Monica does the Housewives thing where she fights by over talking you and just repeating things over and over. It makes me nuts, but it is a tried and true Housewives. What do you call it in war when you have a strategy? It's a tried and true strategy, but it makes me fucking crazy because I want to know. Like, there's a lot of mystery here. And Lisa goes, yeah, well, Jen said you went by different names, and then starts going like she's listing them. She's like, and then Monica overtalks her and goes, oh, really? So we're just going off with Jen's shots? Like, I want to hear what you're saying. And Lisa goes, you fake fucking bitch. And then Monica just goes, she does her little squeal side thing. So then we go to commercial and we come back and we start talking about Jack Barlow because he was seen in California in his mission garb. What happened?
And Lisa's like, oh yeah, he bounced on his mission. So he's like not going. He's just like hanging out with friends, surfing, doing all the good stuff. Ah! And he's like, okay, like what really happened? So it turns out that his paperwork was behind and he didn't have a visa yet, which Heather vouches for, says like that is something that happens when the visa's not ready. They just send the kids stateside to do their missionary in places like California. But then Lisa says, and by the way, Jack is like the real reason why he had to wait so long because he has like a great six-pack, yeah. And like he took a picture on the boat of himself like shirtless. He was like, hey. And he like sent that to the government for his visa thinking that it's like really funny. And they like denied it. So he had to like reapply.
What an absolute dumbass.
What a dumb, like, I'm sorry. This kid does something just massively dumbass every single. This is like not a charming story. Like I would be mortified as a parent if I had to tell the story that my son couldn't get his visa because he took a thirst trap selfie and sent it to the government.
But to Lisa, it's more important to show that she's a good parent because her son has a six-pack. She's like, I mean, he has a six-pack, so I mean, good parenting, am I right? Like I raised him right.
I don't understand how you can have a six-pack and puffy bangs because the six-pack implies that you care about how you look, but the puffy bangs says the exact opposite.
No, a lot of puffy haired guys have six. I mean, they all have it. They literally all have it. The kids that age. So what are you gonna do? That's their hair. The puffy white fucking combed forward hair. There's nothing you can do.
Just a stupid look.
When they showed his naming ceremony or the letter ceremony, when he's like, "I got my letter, and it is for Bogota, Colombia," and then it just showed like the sea of white boys with their hair pushed forward and fuzzed up. Like, oh, it hurts. And I just hurt for them because I know in the future they're gonna look back at that and they're just gonna be so ashamed. Like we have it, we have pictures from the fucking 80s and 90s. I mean, listen, we're no innocents, but we just know the pain. That's one thing about being older. You know what pain that the past causes.
I know. I think the difference is that we have pictures from the 80s and 90s, and our hair was kind of the same, but also that was the 80s and 90s. So, like, why are you having your hair?
We didn't have hair like that. Why? I mean, I had claw bangs. I had like the swoop, like when I had hair. My mom, me and my sister both had like claw bangs that like went up and swooped. Oh, yeah. And we even got a painting done at Dillard's of us. And I have forever a painting of myself giving resting bitch face with swoop hair and a maroon turtleneck.
I for a long time had a bowl cut, and then in like 5th grade, because my mom used to cut my hair, and then 5th grade I actually went to a barber, and then I got like a part, and so we just sort of go to the right like this, and that was like my look for the next like 6 years of my life. And then, but like there were a lot. If you look back, there were a lot of puffy bangs in the 80s, and you just would think that people would learn from the mistakes.
We don't learn.
But they don't.
Yeah, we don't learn. I mean, read history. Okay, so now they're talking
People don't learn from the mistakes. I mean, hello. Did you watch the first 40 minutes of this video? Of course you didn't.
So Heather, they talk about like why Heather was so traumatized by Jack's mission. So we go over that, and Heather's like, it just reminds me what I grew up with and what I no longer have, because I was invited, but I knew why, but I still felt hurt and sad. And Lisa's like, well, listen, it's not because you're not in the church. Like Whitney's not in the church. Like she has a pole in her house. She still got to come. So.
Yeah. And so basically, Andy's like, well, but at the moment, you're kind of like, Heather, you're kind of like a hater towards the church, so why would she include you? And Heather's like, yeah, but like Whitney got to go, you know? And Whitney's like, but do you understand why I had a basic level of respect not wanting to talk about it? Because Whitney's really upset that Heather called her a hypocrite for wanting to go. And Heather's like, no, it's just, she basically just says like, you know what, like for me, I just didn't understand if this was like a belief system that we understand how much damage it can do, what it stands for. And then all of a sudden we're gonna be like, oh, good luck, have fun. Like she was just grappling with it.
So then we go on break, and he announces that Mary Cosby is going to come, and Whitney's like, I'll be at lunch then. Burn. I just burned her good. So then we go to break. Monica's in her dressing room, and Mary comes in to say hi, and Monica's like, oh my God, she's just doing like her squeal compliment thing. And so she's like, this has been a real bloodbath. Like, they're all coming for me. They're like relentless. And Mary's like, why? Do they feel like you did them wrong? And so they're done with you without you even having a chance to explain why? Like,
and Monica's
how
like,
many hours have they been out there, for Christ's sake?
I know.
I don't. You can say a lot about a reunion, especially this one, but you're not going to say that Monica didn't get a chance to speak. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Monica's like, I am not explaining my situation. I'm like, you have done nothing but talk this entire time. Like, the only time Monica has been quiet was talking about Jack's mission. The rest of it's just been her being like, so, like, just, like, she has not stopped. And so, but of course she paints it like, I haven't been able to say a word. They're just coming for me. As if you did not, you know, like have an account that like was making fun of them all on the internet. She just sort of always phrases it in a way like, I'm just so innocent.
I'm the
this
victim.
is why we love her. Yeah.
So so we come back. So Mary comes out, and Andy's like, we'll pop some 2003 Dom Perignon because we're joined by our old friend Mary M. Cosby. Mary, great to see you at a reunion finally. She's like, okay, that's not funny, and you're going to make me pay for that forever. Because she did, and he rubs it in. He's like, well, we did miss you at the last reunion that you weren't at in season 2, and you refused to come, and we put an entire body of water in the center of the stage for someone to fall, and you didn't even take that chance to slip, which you could have taken, whatever.
She goes, well, I didn't come because, first of all, how I was treated the entire season, and then how things were allegedly said that were completely not true, and I didn't feel comfortable, so I didn't come. And he's like, yeah, but, okay, so when you were on Watch What Happens Live, I asked you why you came back to the show, and you said to help you guys out. I'm wondering if the other women, did you feel like you needed the other women back to come back to help the other women? Why can't I say this sentence? Hey, other women, did you feel you needed Mary to come back to help out?
And they're all like, I think, kissing her butt. Like, I don't really see why, but Heather's like, I did. We totally needed Mary. And you see kind of shades of Jen, you know, like how she would treat Jen with kind of kid gloves. And I think she's doing that. She's like, oh, yeah, we totally needed Mary. And Angie's like, yeah, there was some comedic relief there for Greek, sure. And Mary's like, oh, Angie, this is your first year. Why are you even answering? And he's like, she was being nice to you. She goes, oh, she was? Well.
And he's like, yeah, she said we needed comedic relief, you know? So then Andy starts talking to Heather, and then Angie turns to Mary and is like, by the way, you have lipstick on your teeth. And Mary's like, oh, thanks. And that apparently is all it takes. Because now Mary loves Angie. So Heather's like,
I didn't even notice that. I was like, wow, what happened with Mary and Angie that it turned so quickly?
Angie was there like, you have lipstick on your teeth. So, you know, Andy's like, well, what do you think about Mary, Heather? And Heather's like, well, you never know what you're going to get with Mary Cosby. And that's kind of the fun. You know, it makes filming with her really exciting. And I felt like she was back. I love the fun of not knowing what Mary Cosby's going to say. I'm like, until she says she hates you.
Which is, you know, she's like, the only thing you know you're going to get with Mary Cosby is dissed. So that's fun. That's going to be a great segment. Mary. So Andy asks Mary who she likes, and she goes, well, I like Angie. Is that your name? Love you. Doing great on the show.
Angie's like, oh.
Have you been on
like,
here 10 years? God, you're good. You're really good on this show.
You remember you just gave her a huge amount of attitude about 30 seconds ago.
Nope. That's a lie. So she goes, also, Monica's pretty. I like her. And Meredith. And that's it. And, Heather, I liked you until I saw your interview about me. And she goes, what? What are you talking about? She goes, about my house. Saying, you get to tour Mary's house. And making fun of my house. And then we see the clip of Heather being like, oh my God, the decor is just like her personality. Big dog. I mean, she's just so great, isn't she? She's amazing. It's like getting to hang out with one of the popular kids. I mean, she's got Chanel pillows. She's got green carpet. She's got like throne chairs. I mean, like a person from Whoville. It's amazing.
You don't like the reaction to your house, but we're like all fine with your reaction to us. And Mary's like, I don't say anything to you. What do I say about you, Lisa?
Oh, okay.
And
Mary
Lisa's like,
says nothing about anybody. Roll
I
the
know.
clip. It's just Mary like, idiot, moron.
Mary says plenty of terrible things in her interviews too, just as snarky as Heather and the Dr. Seuss chairs. And by the way, Mary, your chairs are wild Dr. Seuss chairs. Okay, like sometimes you have to face certain truths about your chairs.
Yeah. So she's like, I didn't say anything about you, Lisa. Name one thing. And she goes, well, I mean, okay, maybe not that season. So Andy goes, okay, well, with all due, you did call Heather inbred. She goes, Lisa goes, yeah, what's worse? Her making a comment about your house or you calling her inbred? And we see the clip of Heather going, so do you really think I look inbred? And Mary going, yeah. Yeah.
And so Mary goes, I think the house comment's worse. And he's like, your decor? And she goes, well, because Heather's phony. Like, don't come to my house and say it's so pretty. Okay, Heather's like, well, I said your house was grand. It has elements that are unique, that are characteristic. It has huge throne-like chairs that no one else on this planet would buy except for someone who was conned by someone else who may have been Dr. Seuss. That's all I said. Mary's like, well, I was in my house before the show, and I didn't need this. And you got your house after the show.
Yeah, okay, you're going to money shame people, Mary. She's not living off tithing of poor people and businesses she got a hold of by marrying her dead grandmother's husband. Okay, are you fucking kidding me right now? Now listen, look, Mary's very, very funny on the show. I'm glad she's back. But coming back here and shaming where people got their money, considering where you got yours, is a lot. It's a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. So then Heather's like, after my business, I got my house after my business. I'm like, which grew because of the TV show. So Andy's like, well, what did she say about the house that bothered you? And she's like, she just made fun. They just all made fun. So Heather's like, well, you know what? You're welcome to make fun of my house. And I was just commenting on what I saw, and I was excited to be invited. Okay, all right. It's really interesting because you say everything to people's faces, and it's shocking. And Mary goes, thank you. Thank you. I'm saying thank you because, I say it to your face. Thank you.
So then we see her greatest hits from the season. What made you wear that necklace? And do you have a mute button? You need to get one. And then telling Monica, you really like to eat. You're a beautiful girl. Don't just eat your life away. And then the best. Wake up, bobblehead. So
I'm like, is that really saying something to someone's face, or are you just insulting them at that point?
Well, it is. It's just insulting them. But she's like, at least I do it to your face. And Andy's like, yeah, but you say horrible things, but to people's face. And she goes, yeah, but they can say it back. I mean, that's what Jesus said, Andy. When people piss you off, diss them right to their face. Jesus was real big about just calling people overeaters. That was his thing.
So Lisa's like, yeah, but like when we do it and, you said, oh, I'm not talking to you anymore, then that's the end of the conversation. That's it. And Mary's like, why is she butting in? Who's talking to you? Because I'm part of this. What happened to you? What happened to you? Lisa's like, you say something horrible to me and then you don't like what I'm saying. And but whatever I'm saying, it's like not even the same magnitude. And you're like, oh, I'm not talking to Lisa now.
And she goes, yeah, how'd you even insert yourself? And Andy says, well, she's responding because she's a member of the group. And I said, sometimes you say horrible things to the group, to their face. So that's why she's responding. And she goes, yeah, but I think it's a good thing that you're saying this to the group, that I say things to the group's face. Like, oh my God, are you guys, is this the third act of Clue? Like, what's happening? And Lisa, basically the argument is, why can Mary be an asshole to everybody? But if anybody makes a comment about one of her chairs, Mary's like not happy about it, right?
Right.
So then Mary goes, okay, Lisa, well, our relationship has been done. And Lisa goes, yeah, you know what? And so what? So what? So what?
Hey, let's talk about Robert Jr.
is he married or not? And Mary's like, well, they say they're married, but I haven't seen that. He's like, so do they need to show you paperwork? And she's like, to prove to me they're married? Yeah, they do. Okay. And you don't believe him. And she goes, well, I can't even say it. I can't even say. I'm always like, get your girlfriend, because I keep calling her the girlfriend. I can't even say wife. I can't do it.
So he's like, okay, and then you said he was bad in bed. Why'd you say that? And then we see unseen footage of her telling her hairdresser. She's like, I was walking down the hall and I like heard them and they were doing stuff. And I just heard all this screaming. And I was like, oh God, stop making my son think he's better than he is.
Just stop.
I mean, that's just
stop.
funny.
So Mary's like,
funny. I loved that. Like, oh God, stop faking it. You're giving this kid too much confidence,
yeah, she's like, Andy, I didn't say he's bad in bed. I just told the wife or the girlfriend, stop pretending, because like I walk past the room and all here's this like noise and like all this screaming and all this like dramatic, and I was like, it's not that serious, okay? Like, don't give him a bigger head than he already has. I mean, like, come on. And she was like, but it was like yelling, and I was like, yeah, like what's wrong? Like I thought something was like wrong, and like at that point I was like, when I opened the door, and then I started to open the door, but then like I saw it, so I like got the point. I like didn't open the door.
So she basically walked in, and she was traumatized. So then Whitney is asked, like, how did she feel about Mary coming back? And Whitney's like, how do I feel when I'm trying to put words together in the alphabet soup? Nervous. That's how.
And Mary's like, Whitney's terrified of me for some reason. And Whitney's like, no, I was grateful to have the opportunity to try to resolve things with her. I did not like how it ended. I felt bad because I wanted the opportunity to repair that and to show that I'm really good with carpool after all. And you have to like realize that like that came out about you like was not what we were saying. It was just in the press. It was in the news. So Whitney's saying, oh, we weren't gossiping about you. It just was in the news and we were responding to it. I was like, okay, you guys spent the entire last third of season 2 talking about Mary and bringing in the guy from the congregation and talking about all the stuff that was going on. And now Whitney's going to say like, no, we were just responding to stuff in the press.
Yeah, I mean, Mary totally has a reason to hate Whitney's guts and everybody who brought that up. But your own mother was in the press saying that you stole the church from her by marrying your dead grandma's husband and stealing everything that was supposed to be your mom's. So as gross and messy as it is, okay, but you're just saying that they don't say it to your face, but then they did bring it up to your face after Lisa brought it behind your back the whole season, by the way, okay? I'm not, all this stuff is like flooding back as I'm talking about it, but this stuff about Mary was really bad, and I'm not going to just be like, oh, poor Mary was a total victim. I mean, the audio that was leaked of her yelling at her church and calling them poor people because they only gave her 14 cards for her birthday and saying, like, I don't want to be around a bunch of poor people. I mean, you're either poor or you're stingy. You're not even paying all your tithes, and yelling at them. Oh, it just was really, it just got so ugly. But that said, I can see why she hates them for it,
Yeah, for
this
sure.
show's crazy.
It's a moral quagmire. Nothing makes
insane.
sense.
I'm
Nothing
like,
makes
where
sense.
do I fall on this? Where do I fall on the girl who married her step-grandfather and stealing the mom's church and then yelled at the church congregants for being poor? Or am I mad at Lisa for bringing in somebody who was victimized by the church to a party and having him speak on it?
So yeah, this show's a disaster, and I love it. So Mary's like, it's not true, and like I said, there was like a lot of things that came out, and about you, and I will never ever say that. Like, what you guys did to me. I heard horrible things about you, but I never said it, and I won't, because that's who I am. Which is basically what Meredith always does too. But here they're like, it's okay if Mary's doing it. Meredith, they're like, you're alluding, you're threatening. And they're like, it's Mary. This time it's just Mary.
Well, once again, I say, 1 minute you're saying they don't say things to your face, but then they did say things to your face and you're still pissed, So she's like, well, I wouldn't do that to you. So Andy's like, well, Jim from Jones says, Whitney, don't you see that calling people predators is bad? Okay. And she's like, well, it's because like I have my own trauma. I was like, oh God, here we go. Like everybody blames everything on trauma. She's like, I have my own trauma from being in a high demand religion. So I apologize. I don't think you're a predator, Mary. She goes, I'm not. And neither is my husband. And so, wow. So Andy's like, Whitney, you tweeted, I cannot sit and listen to this evil and mean woman talk about growth. OMFG, dead face. And that was on October 17th, 2023. So that's a recent one. So Whitney coming back and acting like, what? I can't believe Mary is mad at me. What?
Yes. I know. And when he's like, well, it's just like hard because I feel like I personally have like put so much work into like myself, and like I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on therapy and also pole dancing classes, and I've been like making a conscious effort to be a better person, and to see you talk about us that way, to see like what you would say in your confessionals, and Mary's like, oh, so you're tweeting and cursing and calling me names is growth? Really? Is that what you're saying? And she's like, no.
You got her there.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. And she goes, but I wouldn't have done that if you hadn't tweeted about me. And she goes, well, I didn't tweet anything about you. And then Whitney just makes that face like, am I wearing any makeup? And then one of my best friends used to say that growing up all the time, Cheryl. She used to go, am I wearing any makeup? So Andy goes, well, you said she's racist. And we see the clip, the tweet of Mary saying, this tells me Whitney is racist too. But it doesn't say what she's responding to. So I have no idea what this tweet was responding to or what was racist.
Well,
so
by the way, the phrase before that was Mary goes, I didn't tweet anything about you. I just said you were racist. That's it.
So Andy's like, yeah, okay. So you said she was racist. And she says, yeah, I did. And he said, do you believe that? And she goes, I do. 100% I do. And then everyone gasps like, oh, what? And Whitney goes, that breaks my heart. My heart.
He's like, so what's this based on? And she goes, well, you know, what they were brought up in, you know, the religion that they were brought up in, you know, I believe that they have their beliefs, and they have, like, their belief is that our color is cursed by the color of Cain, and we'll be in a different heaven, and that will be hell. And Lisa's like, hi, I'm a Mormon. Can someone ask me? And they're like, we're not going to Lisa for Mormon expertise.
No
okay?
kidding, because Andy goes, Heather, is that true? She goes, what about me? I'm as Mormon as Heather. And he's like, no,
we're gonna actually go to the woman who wrote a book who is against Mormonism because she's a more reliable source on Mormon doctrines.
Yeah, Lisa, who owns a tequila company. I'm so sure. So Lisa also, this is a conversation about racism. And Lisa's like, hey, wait a minute. I'm just as Jewish as anybody. I mean, I'm just as Mormon as anybody else here. I mean, come on. I'm a Mormon Jew.
Yeah, she goes, I'm a Jewish Mormon. So I was like, not helping. That doesn't actually make you more of an expert on this. It's actually just really confusing. That doesn't make sense. So Heather's like,
I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian Jew.
Listen, I've heard of Jews for Jesus, but I don't know if I've heard of Jews for Joseph Smith personally. So I'm not seeing those, those in the airport.
Oh God!
Jews for undergarments.
It's if Joseph Smith were running for mayor. It'd be like Jews for Joe. So yeah, she's full of it. Also, this is a conversation about racism, but also this is also a conversation about a tweet that said this tells me Whitney is racist too. So I want to know what they were originally talking about, and I still have no idea. But the point about Mormons being the Mormon Church being racist, I mean, duh, yeah, it's true. I mean, they didn't allow black people to be to get to the temple level where you actually go to the temple until like 1978. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Heather says that the Mormon doctrine is rooted in racism, but like the Mormon Church today is making efforts on every level to have outreach. I was like, okay. So Whitney is like, I just want Mary to know, because it's like a big accusation to make, that I am no longer a member of the Mormon Church, and that was part of my process. And Mary's like, well, by the way, I don't have anything against the Mormon Church either. It's like this weird, like, backpedal. And Andy's like, but you just said it's a racist church. Because, yeah, but it doesn't mean I have anything against them. Now, if the Mormon Church had said I had bad decor, now we'd have an issue.
And she's like, I mean, it's just a religion. Like, I don't have anything against them. I just wish we could, like, just leave it alone. And Lisa goes, and that's fair. That's fair, Mary. Let me tell you. as someone who has been bar mitzvahed in long johns.
Yeah. Yeah. So Whitney's like, well, look.
Fiddler on the Temple. You know what? I've been there. Well, actually, Temple does go both ways. Never mind. That one doesn't work. I'm going to workshop that one. Go ahead, Ben.
We're all women of white privilege. And Mary's like, oh, go ahead. Preach it, Whitney. You've been saying some good things lately. I have to say that. I couldn't tell if Mary was being sarcastic or not. And Whitney goes, but I've been learning, Mary. I want to know personally, what have I done or said to you? And Mary's like, it's not anything you say. It's your actions. It's a feeling. And you have to be my color to know it. And so now Whitney's like, that's fair. It's like a that's fair off. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That counts. That counts. Good goal kick. That's fair.
Listen, as we would say in the old days to our multiple spouses, L'chaim.
Mary's like, it's just
You can
not
really tell how little I know about both religions.
I've been, let me tell you something. I've been sitting here trying to make a pun, but I just can't think of enough Mormon stuff. I'm like,
listen, as I used to see on my favorite show, Big Love of Hala. I just want to say it's fair. That's fair.
it's like instead of Christmas tree concerts, it's menorah concerts. Maybe you know about Christmas tree concerts? You know about those?
Oh, so Andy's like,
guess
so Andy's like,
I guess you don't.
no, I don't. What'd you say?
Christmas tree concerts.
Christmas tree concerts? There are Christmas tree concerts. There's a Rockefeller Center concert.
No.
What are you trying
the
to drag
Christmas
me
tree
into?
concert. So my friend Neil of the Past Present podcast, who he's a historian and like he specializes in a lot of things, but he has clued me in on a lot of stuff. I don't know if this is actually a Mormon thing. That's just maybe a Christian thing. There are these concerts where these enormous Christmas trees are built, and people stand in the Christmas trees and sing songs.
They stand in the Christmas tree?
In the Christmas trees, and they sing.
I don't
that
know what
make
you
sense?
mean. Like they stand in like a field of trees? I mean,
it's a
look,
big
I'm Christian.
Chris-
I was raised Christian, and there's like things where you go and sing at the tree. I mean, that's true. It's not weird though. I mean, I guess I've never thought of it
it's
being
like
weird.
it's like a tree of people. Okay, wait. How do I?
Like people
how do
forming
I-
the shape of a tree?
It's people. The tree is people.
The tree is made out of people?
I don't think it's I thought it was a Mormon thing. I think it's just a Christmas thing. Hold on, let me find.
A
I
tree
want to
of
find
people? Christmas tree of people.
here. I'm gonna send you this. I'm gonna send you this. I'm gonna send you this picture so it makes sense. It's literally a tree of people. But for a moment I thought it was a Mormon thing, but I think it's just I don't think it is. Do you see it? It's a Christmas
I
tree
do.
of
So
people.
it's like people standing on platforms. Oh, it looks
shape
kind
of
of
a
like
tree.
the. It looks like kind of Hollywood squares where they're kind of platformed, right? But
it's called
in
the
shape
singing
of a
tree.
Oh
The
yeah, I've
singing
never
tree.
seen that. That's kind of cute though. It's kind
It
of
is
like a
kinda
Busby
fun.
Berkeley type thing. Like
It's like the match. You know what it is? It's like a very large version of the match game.
Yeah, I mean, look, I
Oh my
say
God.
let's bring something. Let's bring something a little different to Jingle Bells. I'm for it.
And by the way, I just want to say the picture that I brought up is from an article called "The Rise of the Singing Christmas Tree," and guess who wrote it? Neil. See?
Oh,
it
no
comes
way.
together.
So there you go. Well, someone missed picture day because there's one little part of the tree missing. Do you see it up there? Fucking Denise didn't come to Christmas tree.
Fucking
singing
Denise,
Christmas
where are
tree
you?
day. There's like
Denise,
one
it's
person
Christmas
missing
tree day.
on
Did she
fucking
fall?
picture day.
Maybe
Denise is
she
like,
fell.
sorry.
She fell. She's like, I told them I could not do a tier above level 4, and they put me at the top.
Can I also just say these microphones, they're at the very bottom of the tree, all the way to the left and all the way to the right. How is that supposed to help? Like, who's miking this? Okay, human Christmas trees. So then we go back to the reunion, and Andy's like, so Mary, you weren't at the finale. What do you think about all this reality Von T stuff? And Mary just kind of flinches, and she's like, well, I thought it was over the top that they just pushed Monica out, especially since no one reflected on themselves. I mean, I don't know what this troll account is, or anything like that. And Lisa goes, oh, yeah? Well, how would you like it if the account called you a dumb bitch? She goes, well, I probably wouldn't like that, but I don't care because I get called everything on the internet. So what do I care? I'm like, really? You just got mad that somebody made fun of the chairs in your house.
She's like, what are they saying about my chairs, more importantly? Let's get down to it, you know? So Monica's like,
I mean, girl, like, what if I could, like, friend called, like, another good friend, like, Garbage Whore, who can go, like, fuck herself, girl.
and so,
So Lisa's like, yeah, because, I'm going to say that you called Mary a dumb bitch. And that's why you're speaking up and saying that. And she goes, no one got called. And so Lisa's like, play the audio. So then Heather whips out her phone and starts playing the audio while Monica's going, oh, yeah, just get the audio from my best friend, you bitches.
So
I love that Monica is just such a big, when she gets like villain mode, she's just like, you bitches, I don't remember
Yeah.
a thing.
So now we have audio, and this is like one of the voicemails that were circling around the internet like last week or 2 weeks ago. And so we have this audio of basically Monica being like,
Exactly, that's why I, like, called her a snake. Like, you dumb bitch. Like, low-key, I want to, like, DM Mary from, like, a burner account.
and she's saying like, maybe I should do it from Reality Von Tees. Maybe I'll do that instead.
And Mary's going, what? Who? What are they talking about? And Lisa's like, you, it's about you. Monica goes, no, it's not about you. And you guys, it's not fair for you to play one side of something and make it look a certain way. And nobody, which, I mean, kind of, but sorry, it's evidence. Like, it's evident. This is a witch trial, and this is, at least they're bringing evidence these days,
Yeah.
And so she's like, nobody said anything about Mary. So then we hear more of the recording. And Monica's going, I mean, girl, she probably wouldn't even see it, but I'd be like, bitch, like, I could do it from Reality Von Tees. Okay. Because, she'd be waiting on that. She'd be watching that shit. Like, Monica's such a weirdo. So she's really going off in these messages. But in her defense, these messages, she does sound like a complete stalker and a weirdo. But she's not calling Mary a bitch.
Well, it's hard to this one in particular. It was like we were talking about it on Crappy Hour, which coming up on this Monday, and it was sort of hard to understand the context of what was going on. And Monica's now saying, "Well, I wasn't talking about Mary." And then Heather's like, "Well, was it a different Mary? Was it the Mary who fell off the Christmas tree? I mean, you're gonna just dump a DM on the burner account?" And Monica's like, "No,
Girl, that was, like,
Jen who was saying it about her." So now Monica earlier was like, oh, so you're just repeating stuff that Jen says, is now fully using that as her defense. Like, I was just repeating what Jen was saying. That's all.
So she's saying it's not about Mary. I have to agree. I don't think it sounds like it's about Mary at all. She's saying it starts with her going, oh, yeah, that's why I said, you dumb bitch. That's exactly why I called her a snake. Like, you dumb bitch. Like, low-key, I want to DM Mary from, like, a burner account.
Yeah,
Meaning
I
she's
agree.
calling someone else a snake and a dumb bitch, and she's going to get Mary on their ass now by DMing Mary. That's what
I
I'm
agree.
getting from
She
it.
doesn't have any beef with Mary, and Mary's like one of her few allies left. So I totally agree, but I just thought it was really funny that like Monica is such a Bravo star. She is such a Tamra, in that like she will attack you for something and then use that same thing as her own defense. So,
Well, Monica has a couple points here I think are good. She's like, Jen was the one who said it, which was what you just said, but she goes, but it's not fair that you're playing my side, but you're not playing the other sides, which is Tanisha, obviously, right? And whoever else was this, like Koa and the other people who were also part of Reality Von Tees. She's saying like Tanisha ratted her out, but they're not playing everything that Tanisha said, which I think is true. But at the same time, you're the one who got cast on the show. Like you used it and spun it into you getting cast on the show, and now you're the one who kind of has to take the heat for it, because otherwise it becomes 20 people, 20 assistants who were just like scheming, and we don't want to watch a show about all these assistants scheming against the housewives. Like it's kind of gross. We need one to focus on, and that's you. You're the one who got caught,
and also
you turned it into a reality career. So,
and she also made such an effort to get ahead of her other scandals. And she was like so upfront, like, I had an affair, this happened to me, and this happened to me, and this happened to me. So the fact that she did not try to get ahead of this one then sort of really makes her look more guilty, Like, I think like she could have said, guys, I have a confession, and I really want to come clean about it, and it's been weighing on me, and I really, I want it's going to make you guys mad, but I really want, like, they probably would have been like, how dare you? But we're going to give you grace because we're ride or dies. But she didn't. So she really messed this one up in my mind. And what's also funny is that right here, Lisa's starting to like say, like, blah, 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 blah. She's going off. And Monica eventually then reverts to a new defense, which is, what? You never called someone a dumb bitch before? So now she's like, it's not even that bad. You never called someone a dumb bitch? When like Monica is like, I can't believe you would say that about me, and but now she's like, what? Dumb bitch, who cares? No big deal.
What's the big deal? Something I see on El Internet a lot quoted is the narcissist prayer. That didn't happen. And if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, that's not a big deal. And if it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it. And that is kind of,
whoa,
in a way, the Housewives, or really reality show. I mean, we see it on Southern Charm currently, so it's not only Housewives, but it's kind of the reality show thing. But it really explains a lot of what's going on here, I think. I mean, that's pretty exact.
Oh, yeah, because like when she's sort of like cornered, then she just pivots to something else. And
Yeah,
it's like,
so
oh, well,
what?
whatever.
So now it's bad to call people a dumb bitch? Since
like,
when?
did you
Which,
see
by
her-
the way, just to be fair, Lisa just called her a fake bitch. So what's better? Lisa's like, you phony bitch, or whatever she said literally before the last commercial. So it's like no one's like completely innocent here, but
Yeah. So, and then Heather makes some like snarky comment about like, oh, well, you could just call someone like a dumb bitch or whatever with a burner account, or maybe use Reality Von Teese. And Mike goes, oh, Heather, shut the fuck up. And Heather's like, oh, God. So
she goes, literally, I don't even know what I did to you, Heather. Like, literally.
okay, Monica, that's a terrible defense there. That's like the worst one of all.
So she goes, Heather, shut the fuck up. Your hairdresser is, or she says something that was beeped out. I think it was
Sound
your
like
hairdresser is
hairdresser.
Reality Von Teese, because that's Tanisha. And she's like, Reality Von Teese is like 6 people. And Lisa goes, no, it's not. No, it's not. And listen, I've asked people at both kinds of temple. No one has heard of that. And Monica's like, are you serious? And Heather's like, there is a full investigation, Monica. I mean, in all fairness, who's doing the investigating? You and Tanisha? I mean,
I know.
That's not the most trustworthy detective either, Tanisha,
And Meredith does have a fairly good point here, because Meredith has I guess she's just been like frozen the entire time. And it's so cold in here. But Meredith is like, listen, doesn't really matter if it's 1 or 6 people, which is really the most salient point here, because who cares? You can try to pawn it off on the fact that there was 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 other people. You were still being deceptive by omission to your friends. Like, I don't know what friend group is down with someone in the group having a burner account, and even like writing snarky things. It is like a violation of trust.
It is, but on the other hand, Heather still employs and is friends with one of those people that she's using all of this evidence from. So it's like, how seriously do you take it if you're still so close with Tanisha and all is forgiven with Tanisha? I don't get it.
Yeah, well, maybe Heather's thinking like, well, she came clean and I don't want to punish good behavior. I don't know, but I would get rid of Tanisha
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I think that's what it is.
Really
it's like when you
messy.
go to your parents, like, you're caught with something and you're like, Dad, I have to admit, I took your car out last night.
Well, as long as you were honest with
I'm
me.
so proud of you for your honesty.
So,
It's a plea deal. So Andy's like, okay, hold on, everyone, hold on. And Mary's like, I want to say something, because I feel like they should hear Monica out. And I don't think they're letting her talk, which I'm like, Monica has talked a lot. And Monica's
well,
like,
that's kind of, I mean, that's what I think. But Andy's like, well, we haven't discussed this issue until now. So just when you thought you've heard of everything, I mean, this show really. So we see clips of next week, and Monica's squealing, I was not stalking Jen. And then Andy goes, you set up Jen's security cameras, right? She's like, uh-huh. And he goes, so you had the ability to see what she was doing and hear what she was saying in her home? And she goes, yeah.
that's so fucked up. That is such a violation.
I mean,
is like a
some
massive
sliver
violation.
shit. That is sliver. I mean, we talked about in Crappy Hour that she was the one that set up the cameras. I thought they were in the office. I didn't know they were in her home, that she's like getting all the camera feeds from her home. I mean,
That's like, I think might be, I don't know, is that borderline illegal? That is just like, that is, That is definitely fucked up. But I will say, by the way, to Mary's point, like, some credit to Mary here is that I was a little frustrated in the finale that when it was time for Monica to be like, okay, here's the story, here's how I got involved in this, here's what we did, that Lisa was the one who like barked up and just sort of like cut her off. It was like, oh, you're just gonna record us now? Is that what you're gonna do? You're just gonna record us? And then Monica started screaming. So we really didn't get to hear the story. And I was really pissed about that. So I am interested in hearing Monica's side of the story. But what was funny was Monica acting like she just hasn't been able to even express herself this entire reunion. It's like,
Yeah.
you've said quite a bit, lady.
Well, I have
Quite
to
a
say,
bit.
it was the second hour of a reunion, and usually that is the most boring hour. It's like nothing happened, it sucks, and it still was fantastic. And the
So
next one
good.
looks really, really
Next-
crazy good.
I'm going to predict that next week's will be a supersized one because we also have to get the story of the black eye. And so we have both reality,
next
the
week's
origins of
supersized,
reality
yeah.
Bontes. It is? Is it? Yeah, because we have to get the origins of reality Bontes and then the eye. And then the crazy part is we have part 3 next week. And then the week after that is the Vanderpump Rules premiere. Like, we are literally rolling over from reality Bontes back into Scandal on the same night. Not the same night, but like the same time slot. This is a lot for us to take on. This is a lot emotionally. That's a big pivot.
It is. Okay. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Go check us out on Patreon for bonus episodes, videos on Crappens on Demand over on Patreon, and get your tickets for the Golden Crappies February 17th in Los Angeles. Pick those up at watchwhatcrappens.com. And guess what? Monday night is Crappy Hour. That's our live show talking about whatever you want to, okay? On Instagram. Join us, 5:30 Pacific time. We'll talk to you then. Bye.
Bye.